Obviously, Jason, he's being coached to give ground, and it's just you get.
He's fired up, and it's nice to see Aiyuk come out of this game and just show that elite route.
Kind of connection he has with Mahomes, it's so unique.
Well, where he's so good is Alontae Taylor.
And Aiyuk threatens him deep on Starling Thomas. Just a nice comeback, an A+.
The ball thrown to Mooney. And Dean in really, really tight coverage. Step for step, looks back, locates the...
You got Aiyuk going on Clark, and he just runs an in-cut. Clark's running for the undercut.
Duffy, who's playing corner as well as anybody in the league, was there.
He really is. He has been outstanding. One of the best corners.
Exhibiting that once again for the Texans.
And he just runs by everyone. There was no nuance to this one. It was just take off and go. I don't know if Rasul Douglas, the corner...
And the defenders have been there all day long, but just a little bit too handsy. Good job getting his hands on Justin Jefferson.
To let his guy make a play, but Harrison was covered well.
Yeah, Kyler saw what I saw, just one-on-one with Marvin.
This time they've got Juju Smith-Schuster tied up with Tyrann Mathieu. He falls down. As Juju Smith-Schuster goes to the middle, he falls down wide open.
Disguising here, so they're playing single high looks, but they're backing out to cover two, and when you back out in the cover two, Jason, as you know, late in a man look, pressed, gets him, but the ball just, Daniel will want this one back. Just a little bit too tall, a little bit too high.
Heavy, linebackers are downhill, both Britt and Levante David, so it's one-on-one, and that's a mismatch with Mooney's speed. Good job, and again.
The Vikings offense staying on the field here.
Just running the deep corner there.
Great route and man-to-man coverage, and when you stem inside and then lean on Murphy Bunting, that's where you get the separation.
That was a beautiful design. This is Mike Jackson lined up one-on-one with no help on Moore, and look where Caleb put.
Guys are making that first down signal, but it looks like a violent gesture is what the rule book says.
I can't stand.
And that's part of why the Chiefs had success tonight was they didn't allow Olave to really be
Gone either way, and I tip my hat to these referees because they're just letting them play in these critical moments of this game.
What an incredible throw and route by Reed. Reed had a big game last week, and watch. There's three guys for the Rams. They just don't pick.
Veteran right there, holding him off, and what's he do? Get your head turned, find the football, knowing what Aaron Rodgers likes to do.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, this will be a good matchup tonight, Evans and Terrell. Terrell a lot of times will shadow the top receiver. A little bump there at the top of the route.
Not many guys are going to do this. Push hard to the corner and then break back and flatten underneath the safety. Create
by Tyreek Hill, and that's that matchup we talked about. Him and Gonzalez. Gonzalez trying to erase the cheetah. And
Wilson, one of these really intriguing players, going on Ward. And he's got him. He just, again, rolls
The route. It comes off of a hard play fake. He gives a little nod to the inside. That's enough to get the hips turn of the corner. Easy pitch and catch for the Ravens.
Deontay Banks, you're going to see him on the outside right here, reading the hips of DK Metcalf and breaks on that throw. Gets left with 2 timeouts, and the Giants are livid. They want a penalty.
On 21, Stokes, look at, he falls down right there. That's a great job.
And he is at his best. He likes to be physical. As you can see, he gets hands on you, and he gets in and out of his break just as good.
Job by Geno Smith stepping up, but Tyler Lockett, a guy that in zone, he just knows how to get open. Breaks down a double move, makes it look like that. And
Up at the top of the screen, you just simple outside release. You're running in stride. You get your head around. You can see a lot of that contact.
Motion him down, and it's just block him up and throw a simple comeback on the outside.
Nixon.
defending pass intended for Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, nice job all around by the Bears defense. They get pressure on Andy Dalton. Deontay Johnson, he is gloved.
Out by a running back here. He goes up against, I believe it's Dante Jackson, the cornerback. Nope. It was Deshaun Elliott who fell down on the...
Well, with the pressure, Carr gets as much on this throw as he can, and Shaheed, if he was able to...
And right to a top receiving threat for this football team. I mean, that's impressive to come off the bench and hit that play.
His left looked like he was going to try to take a shot to Olave to the left. Comes right back.
Now you're going to play single high coverage. You're going to stress your corners. And Emerson, he's been a very good press man defender in his career. Hurry up
take them out of that aggressive mindset. See Ray McCloud kind of sets a screen. Mooney gets him behind.
To the well on this stopper type play. Could turn into a post, and then Tyreek just slams on the brakes. QB friendly angle on the way back.
You see Shepard work inside, kind of hesitate, picks up, switch of coverage, and then gets away from him. You can see Terrell, I think he's man-to-man. They're confused here because of that movement. Half of the defense playing. 34 years old, and his greatest strength is just his instincts and savvy and ability to cover. You know, that's a big man in Kyle Pitts at 6'6". But look at that right hand and arm extend to knock that ball.
The receiver's got to save him some space. This is Polk working on Kohu. You can't allow that defender.
Throws one up. Obviously knows that he's got an outbreaking route to Harrison.
If you're Buffalo, you know who you want running this route and taking your chances is the rookie Keon Coleman.
For the snap, they move him from inline to out wide. There he is against the corner, but it is zone, so he just gets underneath that. You know, it's
on third down and the drive continues. Yeah, one of the great nicknames I heard this week was Third and Jawan. Let's get him in there.
I think he's going to be out of bounds, but this matchup up top has been fun to watch all game. Watch him on the first step. Watch his left foot. Right there.
Yeah. Taylor Britt, as you said, got picked on a week ago and has been picked on this season, but he has the outside receiver.
They keep it in third and manageable, and you can run these man-to-man type plays, trying to get a little rub route.
What's the Jamar Chase one-on-one with Wiggins to the right sideline, and you see once again, we've seen this a couple times. We've seen it to Higgins.
But they went with the rookie, and this is what Josh Allen said he wanted out of him, to be able to run stop routes, slants, and fades. He runs a stop route there.
Well, it's a slant, flat combination, and there's contact there, but it's under 5 yards. Man-to-man coverage, and Taylor Britt's lined up on him, and just a quick little stutter at the line of scrimmage. Able to.
The offense may stay on the field. Nope, they're going to bring in the punting unit. Got 28 seconds, and they're up to the 32.
Well, as I said, just one-on-one, all by himself on that side of the field, just a little.
Watch in the middle. Hollins, 13 and white, gives that move to the inside. Kalen Bullock, the rookie from USC, buys it.
That Dalton pass, 31 yards.
They're going against Kyler Gordon, their nickel. They were playing man, and
yeah, you're going to watch as the ball comes over the top of Riley Moss. You adjust it a little bit there. He gets that left one down, but how he tapped that right one.
And that's the risk. You put 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. You're bringing everybody going cover 0 with no help in the middle of the field.
Just under pressure. Parkinson goes out, comes back in, tries to beat Williams. It's a bang-bang play.
In center field. Perfectly played.
There's Brock Bowers right here working against P.J. Locke in coverage. And this is, again, it's man-to-man. It's one-on-one. And he's underneath. He loses his balance. Brock Bowers is one of those guys that has a huge football IQ.
Pressure by Karlaftis and just heaved it in the air. And somehow Cook comes down with the interception.
You'll see a right hook coming in here just as this play is made. Watch number 24, top of your screen. Throw a right hook in, and a little nod of the cap to Jalen Tolbert for hanging in there, obviously in pain. Clears back underneath. Dak puts it right on the money, and that was not an easy.
And the Saints are back in the ball game.
Well, they put Rashid Shaheed in the middle, and the Chiefs go with a 2-deep look.
Has great affection as a receiver for Jalen Tolbert. He's the guy that spent a ton of time with him, working out in the off. Really the ball you want to throw because you've got the 2 deep safeties over here and playing outside. So this is a pretty easy break on the ball. Lucky.
And then he's trying to go to the middle with Kelsey. All of a sudden he's having to go around. Well, the Saints like to play man coverage, but they're in zone coverage on this play, and they got an opportunity here for a big play, and they've just not been able to hit it. If you just lay that, it should have been.
Run a guy and run it deep out. You can run it.
Of yardage, that one for 15.
Number 83, Noah Gray. The key to that is you got to sell it. So he sells it as though he's staying on the end of the line.
Of it sometimes is to see this ball have a little air underneath it. Give this 6'7" guy a chance to go up. The other one is Get that sucker out of your hand, and that's what Dak Prescott's been doing here.
Mingo, he's running the route, and he's getting deep, working on the safety. Boom, he crosses his face, and then he just loses track of the football.
Being able to do some other stuff. So it's going to be right there, and you're going to come up with the in route, and he's just playing it off of a, you're late getting your head around. You're sitting there. This is just a mistake by Gardner Minshew. Don't do that. Don't do that. And here comes the block. Watch Minshew right there. Look at the drive block. Boom, pancake. That's just a great job. There was going to be situations where it's man-to-man. It's an area that Gardner Minshew has struggled a little bit. It's a double move with an out and up. Riley Moss does a good job seeing it. Gets his...
Moss right in front of Trey Tucker to get his first career pick.
So got possession, 2 feet, 3 feet, and it's over. Defining plays. This is just a simple play, right? 7-yard catch, but look at the effort and everything that goes into it. I mean, he should be tackled right there immediately by getting a little bit of a wiggle out here before you break across. Get him to tap his feet, create that separation.
Finally connected last week against the Rams, and this is the matchup that everyone was looking for. J.C. Horn going against DJ Moore. He thought that he was going to pass off this receiver to somebody else. Instead, everybody's playing.
McKinney's going to be coming from the middle. Don't lose inside. Stay on the outside hip. Make it really difficult. This is what I think they can keep doing. Just line up, throw routes on air. Stafford could throw wide side of the field.
Absolutely right. Playing a cover 3 by McLeod. He jams Lockett, but then he lets him go, expecting that he has help behind him, and there is nobody home. Lockett does the rest after the catch. But
quick in-cutting slant. Ball is down away, so if there is contact coming, he's not going to take the brunt of it.
To come out of the middle as if he's a corner. And he's
one side of the field, and he's come all the way across to the other side as Hyatt's going the other way. Terrific job, not only by Slayton and Daniel Jones.
I'm so impressed with this young man. He's going to have an outstanding career. He's got a great feel for the game, and he's great with the ball in his hands.
Look at the stiff arm.
Look at the stiff arm. Another poor tackle.
Giants secondary, they know this is quite the challenge coming in with Geno Smith as well as he's played and the weapons that they have.
Wan'Dale Robinson's the second leading receiver on this team, and it's only because of Malik Neighbors, but this is just a crosser, a shallow crosser.
Cortland Sutton playing on that slot area right there. You've got the cushion. Just a nice drive on the ball. It's really well.
It's Cole Kmet. He's working on Troy Hill. And Troy Hill thinks that they're in zone.
Wan'Dale Robinson is at his best. Rayshawn Jenkins is going to drop down at that safety position, but his ability to just make the first guy miss. 5'8", a guy that
able to jog to the sideline, but looked like he might have been hurt, and Tyreek Stevenson makes a
6.5-minute drive. Higgins going to be to the outside, but they bring pressure. So when you bring that pressure and drop out, there's some easy throws. You just have to get the ball out of your hands quick.
the back of the end zone, and not one of Brock's best throws right there. Just leaves the ball too far inside.
Elijah Higgins, a second-year tight end, infrequent target, was wide open and a little high, Tom, but he got his feet in there.
To answer Kirk, for some reason, Jalen Jones, he stops his feet right there. And he's sitting on it, doesn't expect Kirk to go down the field. And
love the way Mustafa's playing back there. They bring him in with Hufanga out and just plays right downhill.
That tells you how vital the timeouts are in being able to get the stop defensively, get the ball back in your hands at offense.
3 deep coverage, so this corner has to come back. But he hesitates just for a count, and that's the layup that you have to hit. Easy play. They get the cornerback cheating right there
in the vicinity, and they hit it for 18.
Yeah, but look at where he leads Ali Cox. Watch, he's going to put it to the inside where he can make that adjustment. And that is just the only place you could put that football.
I mean, they had some haymakers early, trying to just run them by Murphy.
This is 3 deep coverage. All right, you got the safety. He's shaded. He should be in the middle of the field. The corner to the top of the screen doesn't cover his third. The offensive line.
Holding. Defense number 27. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Wow. Just love seeing that football. And
the pickup of 24
unbelievable. That's just great concentration.
On the line of scrimmage, he's just right up here up the seam. You're going to see the outside receiver go towards the sideline. This is just an easy, it's a 4 vertical. You're just trying to put pressure on the coverage. Depending on who you pick, you take the seam away from whatever safety is there. Great throw.
Situational plays are so important for Arizona to win this game.
Review as Strange works in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, miscommunication by Dallas Flowers.
Another big shot again. You see Von Bell at the bottom of your screen. He's trying to get over the top. He initially took a poor angle. Well, I'm giving this credit to Wiggins. They've gone after him a couple of times today, this time with Higgins on him. But watch Wiggins' left arm. He's able to get it in there. Well, and that didn't take long. That was a quick response to what the Bengals have done. And how about the last 2 completions, both to Jamar Chase and here to T. Higgins? They both get near the boundary, and instead of stepping out of bounds, they both go down inbounds, inside release, and do the dig route. On the inside, Josevich is going to the outside, so that draws the underneath coverage. Actually, Josevich is running through. It's the late flat by the running back that draws that attention underneath. Higgins is in motion, so he really gets a running start on this, and Burrow's going to be upset with himself because he underthrows it. Higgins tries to come back.
Down the middle of the field, what they call running the pipe, right down the center.
Punter put him at the 2. So the punter, a rookie free agent, really did a terrific job.
But they've been looking for ways to get Tank Dell involved again as much as he was last year. When Stephon Diggs, look at him working out of a bunch, 3-man setup, and they all just go and
cover 0, everybody man-to-man at the snap of the ball. They drop three guys out into coverage, taking away.
Right here, working that out route. See him turn on the gas and then get undercut.
I like the fact that they're coming out today and trying to get Amari Cooper settled into the game. He struggled a little bit with drops. St. Jude's 25.
Off spot in the zone, they're going to half roll away from him. And he's going to bring that route inside, hook up in between the hash and the numbers, and then make an excellent play.
Moving Frankie Louvu out of his underneath zone. He looks, watch, he just makes Frankie Louvu move a little bit to his right, and that open 2. We used to call this ricochet. You run right at the Mike linebacker, you take it to the back, and then you're expecting that ball high and to the outside.
Puts this ball right where it needs to be. See McCollum working around him, but he couldn't get to it because of the location of the ball. But a heck of an effort by this guy with fresh legs to spin out of it and not think first.
Off coverage, but good coverage by Reed right there, and the ball just a little bit wide, forcing that.
That's exactly right. I mean, he's got to cover him all the way across the field. Tyreek gets a jump on him early, and thankfully for the Patriots defense, that pressure forced Huntley.
There are some guys open, but the masterful job that Jim Schwartz is doing is he's leaving the guy that's open deeper. It was really McCaffrey on the outside. Once that corner overlaps, that's getting deeper into the progression.
Throw the hot to the inside, but Van Ginkel jumps out again. He has to pull the ball back, and I'm not sure if that...
Again, just one-on-one. Take a look at McCaffrey here in the slot. He's open. That ball could have been thrown to him, but you mentioned...
No matter how you do it, watch him get back outside. Essentially almost like a one-man screen. He's on his own out there, but it's tough. Once these guys match coverage on scramble mode, and you see Tyreek Hill working on Christian Gonzalez, you got everybody covered up. I mean, that's perfect across the board. I don't know what Huntley saw, but this was dangerous. He's throwing up Waddle's going to run all the way across the field, try and find an opening, and then once he feels the quarterback scramble, he just turns around. Just an RPO with Jonnu Smith taking the middle of the field. They fake the pitch to the right, get Mapu to bite number.
Making that call correct.
He's juggling it there. McLeod sprung it free after his...
To his big tight end. Beautiful throw to set him up in.
And you're going to see Polk work in and up. They're going to have an out route and an in route. You see that traffic pattern made it hard for the defense to figure out. Jalen Ramsey.
They did a lot of good things, getting the ball out in a hurry. A lot of levels concepts here. Just getting the ball out, giving it to Otten. Big guy, 6'5".
Of Sam Darnold and his ability to just layer the football over the linebackers to number 18. Let's ball out and anticipate so you can get the ball in your receiver's hands and he can make a play. The freak play, but they set it up with a little rub play. You see all the defenders running into each other as they bring Justin Jefferson around the edge. Great play call. Great job by Naylor on the outside to set up the rub, and wide open Justin.
McCollum to the inside to try to help take away the potential of any receiver that's going to work in there. So you got a corner working in there. By the time he turns around in the meeting this morning, it's like he just gets overlooked. I mean, he is as consistent and as durable as you could hope for.